Now, we don't know how this engagement with Russell Westbrook started because I've seen in subsequently interviews with the fan who he was talking with, and the fan was kind of...
Shane Keisel is his name, by the way.
But Shane was like playing it down. And,
They interviewed him.
We just kind of chatting, and I was just talking about his knees or whatever it may have been, and because he was icing them up or heating them up, and then it got out of hand. We don't know exactly what was said, but it was egregious enough for Russell Westbrook to be really affronted and angry. And
we think it was egregious enough.
But I mean, I'm assuming that it had to have been something either egregious or he misinterpreted it.
Possible.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, true. True. Possible.
And look, because of the world that we live in, you can go look at social media and you go look at the history of Shane Keisel on social media. It's not very becoming.
That's repulsive.
It's absolutely repulsive. The civility that is supposed to exist in this country doesn't exist anymore on social media. So I don't know if he brought those opinions to this engagement with Russell Westbrook. But if he did, it informs me a lot why Russell Westbrook reacted the way they did. Now, again, I don't know that happened. I do know that he said something about getting on his knees, and that threw Russell Westbrook into a tizzy. Now, the NBA has to figure out how to address this. I don't know if there's an easy solution because it's easy proximity to the players, right? In a football stadium, you could be Eagles fans used to cuss me out like you would not believe, saying the craziest things. I didn't hear it.
It's kind of muffled out. It's almost like the background ambiance. I hear you.
You can have
Basketball's different.
Almost have a bullhorn. You still wouldn't hear it at a football stadium. In a basketball arena, somebody sitting 15 or 20 or 30 rows up could say something in a quiet moment or
no question,
getting ready to shoot a free throw, and you hear it clear as day. You know what I mean? And so the engagement is going to happen. How the NBA polices this is to be determined. Now, it's easy to just say, well, fine Russell Westbrook or, suspend him or whatever it may have been, but that's not going to solve the issue. It's not going to solve this heightened nonsense that is existing in basketball arenas across the country, not just in the NBA, but just in all of them. It's not going to solve it. There isn't an answer to this other than increased civility, which is not going to easily occur, especially with alcohol and everything else involved.
That's a good point. The commissioner can't implement something that forces people to be cordial.
Exactly.
I mean the non-players.
I agree.
Even the players, he can't force them to be cordial. What was allegedly said about the reference of the knees? To me, you got to educate me on this. I mean, I always thought it had a sexual connotation. I didn't extrapolate anything racist about that. Did you?
Not. It depends on how you take it.
I thought it was a homophobic statement. That's what I thought he was doing.
I thought it was too, but when Russ explains it a different way, I can understand. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's because it's all interpretation.
But I don't know. True. But I don't know if I can understand it enough when he includes the guy's wife. This is where it goes to a different area. For me,
it's never okay. I don't care who you are, what's going on, to threaten a woman. But I think his reasoning was that the wife was repeating what her husband was saying.
He's involved in this a lot. He is. And no fan should ever have a license to say anything, sexual connotation, race connotation, anything.
Agreed.
Outside of, you're a bum, you're not worth $30 million, whatever the price. I mean, that's fair game. No player should have to absorb that. So I'm totally with Russ on this. However, we're not talking about any other player as much as we are about Russell Westbrook with this stuff.
Look, a lot of this, BT, is because Russell Westbrook is just an emotional player, and he's an emotional person. You see it in how he plays, right? Just on the court.
Yep.
Right. There's just this energy, this it's like
a tenseness.
Yeah,
there's no question about it.
No matter whether he's driving in for a layup, he starts pounding the ball really fast, and you know what I mean? And so it takes over. You can clearly tell that's who he is, right? It's what makes him good as a player, but that's his personality. There's a calmness about him, but when the light or the switch is flipped, it becomes like violent really quickly. And so anything can set a guy like that off. You've known guys like that. I've known guys like that. It's just the littlest thing can set them off. And I think that's what happened. I don't know if it was frustration of what was happening. I didn't watch this game last night. So I don't know if it was frustration of what was happening at the time in the game, or maybe this was a dialogue that had been going on for the entirety of the game, which is likely the case. And then it just took a turn that just didn't sit well with them. But what do you do, right? Who is this on? Is this on Russ? Is it on the fan? Like, what do you do? There's not much you can do.
There's not an easy solution, Tiki.
There's not much you can do here.
No, there's not.